governments. Welcome, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for clicking on my video. So today, let's get straight into the topic. We're going to be talking all about governments. So the most common form of governments is a democracy in the free world, and democracies evolve into republics. Republics are based on Constitution, Bill of Rights, and some governments like Canada, they're they are a democracy, but their constitution is more of a monarchy, which is kings and queens type of government. Right. So, what are the common forms of government in our world other than democracies and republics? The other ones would be communism, socialism, which is more everything is shared among the people and the government owns everything, basically, and monarchy. Monarchy still survives in some countries, or they take the form of symbolic monarchy, which is what UK is, and the king and the queen play only a symbolic role, or at least that's what they want us to think. And then the uh, the other form of government is the theocracy. So theocracies, you find them in religious countries or very God-based countries, such as I think the Muslim world, where they have the imams or the religious leaders as their highest or one of the highest authorities in their nation state. The Vatican is another one. And so we move on to thinking from all these governments, from all these types of governing, what is the best form of government? And 2000 years ago, somebody asked that question already. And they put it into a book and they called it Plato's Republic, right? So the setting is this is around the Peloponnesian War, right after or during, I forgot, but around 380 BC, the Peloponnesian War. Socrates and a few of his buddies, Thrasymachus, Glaucon, they're talking all about what is going on in the world, what is going on in Greece, and what are the forms of government, and what is the perfect form of government, or what is the perfect nation state. So, this book is all about it. So, in Plato's nation state, he first describes what are the common forms of government in his time, and that would be number one, monarchy, kingship. Number two, democracy, which is a nation state ruled by uh, val- valor, and honor, and these are the nation states like Crete, like Sparta, ancient Sparta, very military focused, honor based focused governments. Now you have democracy, and democracy is similar to aristocracy, but aristocracy is more focused on, I would say, the best academics or the best scholars or the best, um, let's say, generic academic philosophers, right? Not because not everybody has the same definition of philosophy. Now, monarchy, democracy, then you have oligarchy. So, oligarchy is a form of government where everything starts to amass into one family or into one leader or into one group of people, right? Oligarchy. So, everything has become one guy or one family ruling everything, right? From an oligarchy, people revolt. Then you become a democracy, for the people, by the people, to the people. Democracy, right? The people elect their own ruler. They set up their own government with, uh, you know, lessons learned from history. Now, when the democracy fails, everything crumbles. People go into panic, anarchy ensues, chaos, tyranny happens, and a tyrannical government, a tyrant, a tyrant, he rules the people. He rules the flames. He rules the ashes. Say, a tough guy, a maton, right? A marauder has to come and lead. That's a tyrannical government. Anyways, now what is Plato's Republic? So Plato's Republic is divided into three parts. So actually, we'll go into this, but mainly three. So the first one is the bronze class, the farmers, the producers, the bread makers, the cow herders, right? The olive pressers. This is the first class. They are the producers, the bronze. Okay, the bronze class. Then you have the auxiliaries, the soldiers, the politicians, the poets, the writers. They are the silver class. Now, number three, you have from the silver class living together with the silver class in public communes like monasteries, right? Like Olympics athletes village, like barracks, but open to the public barracks, right? This is the gold class. The gold class are older people, are elders with 35 years of working experience, around 50 years of age, and they're ready to become rulers, right? So they are basically the council of elders, right? The council of well experienced men or women, because Plato doesn't discriminate here. Now, from the rulers, you get the most important person, or should be symbolically, the most important person in Plato's Republic who will rule the people. He is from the Republic, he is from the nation state, he is born there, and he will rule there. And he is the philosopher king, right? So, what is the difference between a regular type of king? A philosopher king, to cut it short, is somebody who loves truth, who loves wisdom. Philosophia, love for wisdom, right? And he searches for truth in all things, in all everything. So he's searching for the logos, the logoi in Greek, logos, logoi, searching for all things. And this guy, he is supposed to be the epitome of what the nation state produces, right? For all the efforts of preserving the arts, of preserving beauty, the philosophy of beauty, the search for the perfect morality, perfect justice, injustice, so on and so forth. From all that, you know, sharpening, the philosopher king comes out. And this guy is a person who embodies all the values of the Plato's Republic. Now, this guy, he since he's a seeker of all things, seeker of all truth, Plato places a divine a divine thing or a form of God above the philosopher king. And this divine is well is also part of what the philosopher king bases his decisions on, or what the gold and silver and all the people base their decisions on. So the divine is a reality in where the nation state bases their decisions and morality. I wouldn't say every decision, but a big part of their decision making is also based on the search or a form of God or something divine, right? Let's just say a form of God. So now we have this government which is um, very unique. It's caste based. It's it has freedom of speech. It has free men. Yet people learn how to sacrifice for the greater good. They know beauty. They know philosophy. They know responsibility. They know their roles. Yet they have freedom. And the philosopher king and all the people in the nation state also know, or at least search for God. Right now, this is very interesting. So it's a democracy. It's a republic. Yet it has theology. It has theocracy. It has a search for God, and it has philosophy. So now you got this interesting little nation state, which you couldn't put into better words into, what I think the perfect nation state could be, the perfect republic. Yet Plato says even this republic, even this well thought of thing, has a weakness. And what is the weakness? So I've put down a note in my book, and I'm gonna take it out for all of you to see or to hear. Page 294. When discord arose, then the two races were drawn different ways. The iron and brass fell to acquiring money, and land and houses, and gold and silver. But the gold and silver class is not wanting money, but having the true riches in their own nature, inclined towards virtue and the ancient order of things. There was a battle between them, and at last they agreed to distribute their land and houses among individual owners, and they enslaved their friends, and maintainers, whom they had formerly protected in the condition of free men, and made of them subjects and servants, and they themselves were engaged in war and in keeping a watch against them. I believe that you have rightly conceived the origin of the change, and the new government which thus arises will be a form intermediate between oligarchy and aristocracy. Very true. Very true. So that's what happens when that's one of the weaknesses that Plato mentions, which is actually losing your identity, losing your expertise, losing your um, the character you play in this country. So, for example, the best bread maker, he dips, he bounces, he's gone, he leaves. No one is gonna make bread as good as him. Now, previously, he was making the best bread in the whole area, the whole nation. Now, no one's gonna make bread like that anymore. Slowly, as the chaos or as this, I would say, extreme freedom arises, everybody doesn't want to do their old jobs anymore. Everybody wants to advance into the silver class, right? The bronze, brass, iron people, those classes, they want to do the silver or gold class jobs. Yet their nature and how they were raised and what they know is does not match the traits and the natures of the silver and the gold class. So now no one makes food. The country has no more farms. Nobody makes bread. Nobody makes juices, dairy. Nobody makes the food. Nobody takes the water up. Nobody builds buildings. Now everybody wants to be a sophist, which is pretending to be smart when you're not really smart. People want to be poets, writers. People want to be athletes. People want to be soldiers. But nobody produces the food anymore. When nobody produces the food, everybody's gonna go hungry. Now you're gonna have to immigrate. Uh, you're gonna have to ask immigrants to work in your nation state, or you're gonna have to purchase. You're gonna have to purchase land from other countries. Or you're gonna have to purchase produce from other countries to make your food, right? Or to get food. So when the whole nation state has no more food, when the whole nation state has no more uh, backbone, the whole thing falls apart. People want to mix with people and do their jobs, yet they're not qualified to do them. And the nation state, since the roles have been destroyed, the whole thing crumbles. Right? Now, what is the form of government which ensues after that? Right? Because things have to move on. Like what I just mentioned earlier in the passage from the book, an oligarchy, well, something between an oligarchy and an aristocracy is born. What does that mean? It means a democracy is born, right? Because the people revolt and they want to have things their own way. So a democracy is born. Freedom ensues. The old values still kind of remain, but the ultimate search for truth and the self-sacrifice for the truth, search for truth in all things, and the private interpretation of all things happens, right? So previously, when they were looking for truth, now everybody has a different form of truth. Nobody's looking for subjective or, I mean, objective truth. Nobody's looking for objective truth. And I think that, you know, there's always goods and bads, good and bad for all things, right? And I would say now there's more freedom, but now your focus is off, right? So, do I agree that all countries should be like Plato's Republic? To a certain degree, yes. I believe that the leader of every country should be a philosopher king. He should be looking for all truth, and God should be above him, in which he tries to search for God, or tries to, even if he's an atheist or agnostic, disprove God, right? So that challenge should be always put to the test, or that topic should always be mm, discussed by the philosopher king, and he should be a protector of beauty. He should be a protector of good. He should be a fighter for justice. And every day these topics must be dialogued, must be discussed. You know, to have the perfect nation state, whether you be a monarchy, a theocracy, a democracy, or whatever, right? Plato and Socrates and his bunch of friends, they did a really good job 2,000 years ago trying to describe what the perfect nation state would be, and we can still take lessons from them until today. So, with that, let me know what you think. Let me know if you agree with Plato's perfect world, his perfect nation state, his perfect republic. Let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you dislike this video, let me know what you think in the comments again. So, with having said that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully, we get to talk again in this beautiful nature, in this beautiful place. The sun went down and the weather's pretty good. Windy. Messing up my hair, but it's nice. So, I'm thankful you guys watched the video. See you guys on the next video. Peace.